That's the biggest takeaway of all in this book. Don't be fooled by these men, okay? Don't. Hello! 2 nights ago, I finished reading These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, and this was rated 4 stars on Goodreads. And after finishing this, for me specifically, this is not a 4-star read. This is 2 stars. It was very boring. All the characters were uninteresting, and the romance was awful. I didn't understand the romance at all. And honestly, this book reminded me why you should not trust men. And both of her lovers in this book, they both betrayed her. So it's like, why do I like any of them? For what? The betrayal? No thank you. And yeah, this book focused way too much on the romance, which I understand it's fantasy romance, and I love fantasy and I love romance and I love them together. But when you have such a good premise from the start about a girl going to get her sister back after being sold to this dark king of the Unseelie court in the Fae realm, and our main character hates Faes, it's really interesting to see how this character would go through hell just to get her sister back. And that's what I really love, is when we have a main character that has a good family bond and is very driven to do anything for her loved ones or for people that she loves, which I loved. But then it all falls flat when she meets these 2 men. And this book reminded me why you should not trust men. Oh my goodness. Both of these men betrayed her. I don't know. I just don't really feel for any of her lovers. Both of them are red flags for me. What I also did not like about the book, I hate the fact that in this book, she had to choose between 2 men because they were the only ones that could open up a door for her to get her sister back. I hated that so much when I started to realize there's no other path that she could have taken to get her sister back. Like, she couldn't leave any of these men in her life because if she did, she wouldn't get her sister, which is her main goal in the story. And the fact that she legit had to choose between man A or man B was awful, and the fact that they both lied to her and both betrayed her is even worse. And she had no female friendships here. The only time we actually ever saw her have a female friend was the first 5 pages of the book. The rest were all romance centered and trying to get the things that she needed in order to exchange with King of the Unseelie court to get her sister back. And then the other female character in this book was just plain annoying because she would say,
"You need to trust us. We want to be your friends, but you're pushing us away."
I wonder why that is. Because Brie is not being told about anything. She would ask, "What's going on? What's this? What are you guys doing?" And then every single time she actually asks logical questions because she genuinely wants to know and understand. Pretha and the rest of them would just cast her aside and be like, "You need to trust us. You need to trust in the process." And they barely would really tell her anything at all. So this only female character that would tell Brie that she wants to be her friend is not actually being a good friend in the first place. You know, too much on the romance. She actually had to choose between 2 men. Had no female friendships in the book. And when she was getting items needed for exchange with her sister, all of it, she did not use any of her critical thinking skills because all of those things that she was required to get were easily handed to her because she just asked. Yup, she did not use her good thieving skills because she did not need that at all. And again, everything was given to her. It was so easy to achieve all of these things. This book could have ended in like, I don't know, 200 pages or something. She needed, number 1, the mirror. And the Dark King legit told her everything she needed to know. Where the mirror was located, the history of this mirror, who owned it, All she had to do was really just grab it from the room. So again, that was easy, but guess what? She didn't even retrieve this mirror herself. She asked Sebastian, which is one of her main lovers in this book, and he's a walking red flag. She asked him, or asked about it, he got it for her, gave it to her, and that was that. That was that. She didn't need to use her magic powers or anything. And then she needed to retrieve a book. Again, all she did was ask Sebastian about library. And again, how did she get that information? From the goblin, which was so easy. Again, because the goblin just comes to her room and then it would ask her to take a chunk out of her own hair and then it would give her any information she wants. That goblin is like a walking almanac. So the goblin comes in the room and she's like, look, I need this about this book. And he's like, okay, pay up. I need a chunk of your hair. And she's like, okay, cool. Rips out a chunk of her hair. I don't know how this girl is not bald yet. Rips it out, gives it to the goblin, and it spews out information about the book, where it is and all that stuff. And then when she retrieved it, she got help from Sebastian yet again. And then the final part of this book, how it all went down, the third thing that she needed was the crown. And the way this was executed made me want to cry. Not because it was sad, but because it was so dumb. I can't believe this was the way it went. And throughout this whole story, we the readers know that she is something else, obviously, because she has powers. And she's also called Fire Girl. Like, people nickname her as Fire Girl, not because she has powers that is related to fire, but because her hair is red. Red hair. And I think this is a theory, but I'm pretty sure it may be true. My theory for why she's also called the Fire Girl is because she was severely injured during a fire and she was brought back to life after that. So I think that's also the reason why they call her Fire Girl. Like, it's so dumb. Oh my god. This book is ugh. Anyways, so the crown, right? King Mortius, which is our main villain, and also the king that has Jazz, which is Brie's sister, and the king of the current unseelie court, which is seen as the bad court, takes the mirror, turns off the lights, okay? Then shows Brie her reflection in the mirror, and he's like, take a look at yourself. Do you see the crown? It's on top of you. And it's shining, shimmering, splendid, like on top of her head. Are you kidding me? All this time, girly girl had the mirror and she could have just closed the blinds or turned off the lights, and if she just looked at her reflection, she could have just seen the crown. Like, if she really looked. It's insane. So that was her whole reveal of who she truly was and how and why she got the powers. Oh my goodness. The whole showdown between Mortius and Brie was so boring. He was not a good villain. He was not a very well written character. He was just there just to stir things up, just to beat a drama. The way he died was boring. He just got stabbed. Like, yippee. Don't you have powers? They didn't even have any showdown with their powers. After all the training that Brie supposedly got with Pretha, they didn't even have a power showdown. Like, what is this? They did not have a duel. Brie just reclaimed the throne. She's like, watch me. And she struts to the throne. She takes a seat and she's like, I'm the queen now. And just, I don't know, like, stabs him. Dude, this is how you're gonna go down? Like, after all of this, you did that for what? Just getting stabbed and dying? It is so sad. I hate it. It's awful. Now I want to get into the relationships. Okay, so the rest of the book is, like I said, strictly about romance. So let's start off with Sebastian, because he's the main character and he is who she chose at the end. And she chose wrong. She chose wrong. For 2 years, he lived in the mortal world and they became friends. And the plot twist is he's actually the prince. He's Prince Ronan. He has like 3 names: Prince Ronan, Sebastian, and his nickname is Bash. So he needs to find a bride. And there's 12 female that goes in the Sealy Palace, and he's supposed to pick one out of those 12 girls. It's really giving Bachelor. It's giving Cinderella. And this book had so much lightness from the Cinderella movie. Anyways, from the very start, every time she would try to do something, he's like, stay, don't do that, stay, I'll help you find your sister. And I'm like, oh my god, leave her be. Just let her do her thing. She's independent, she's a grown woman, let her be. He was helping her, which was nice. I mean, that's all he did, he just helped her. Like, thanks. He was used, and she did well in using him. I understand why she likes him, because they've already built a friendship before. 2 years worth of friendship. It's already been established from the very first chapter that they were really good friends already and that she had a crush on him for a long time. And you know, like, he's very nice to her, but that's who you need to watch out for. Men that are too nice. Too nice. He was too good to be true. He was just like telling her, oh, I love, you know, I really like you, I wish let's go on a vacation together, all those things. Legit, the next page after, they almost went to third base. He was in bed with another woman. Yes, so that's the very first sign that you shouldn't even have chosen this man. She forgave him because she said, you know, it's not his fault. Like, I understand. He has a duty to fulfill. We're not even a thing. But then I'm also like, hello? You have a mutual understanding that you both like each other. Like, yes, you're not officially together, but for this man to tell you that he likes you, to make out with you, to almost going to third base with you, to telling you, hey, I'm gonna help you find your sister, to also asking you to go on vacation with him one-on-one, and then legit the next day being in bed with another girl is such a big red flag. Like, I don't care even though he has a duty. The fact that he did all of that and then the next day just switched up on you and just, you know, doing that with another girl because, I don't know, he has his needs, and I don't know, because you're not officially together. That is so gross. Because at this point, you've already had 2 years worth of friendship established, and you've just been flirting, and he's been like sweet talking you and helping you out and all those things, then doing that to you. Girl, it doesn't matter if he had duties to fulfill. It doesn't matter if you guys aren't officially together. With all those things combined, that is a situationship, and he still did you dirty. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, stand up. Stand up. Nope. Nope. I don't see the hype around him, and I don't even know if there's hype around him. If there's hype around Sebastian, shut it down. You don't need that. Then we have Finian. So Finian's romance with Brie, I don't understand. Sebastian I understood because they already had a built-in friendship. But with Finian, she started liking him out of the blue. Like, he wasn't even flirting with her. He just wanted to use her. And then she just made a comment on how beautiful he is. And yes, he's not your typical bad guy, which I actually really liked. And he was not bullying her or anything, which I also really love, because the whole bullying romance thing is too much for me. Like, how could you like a man that bullies you? But the fact that he didn't, I like. But the way that it was brought up, her feelings for him, just didn't make sense. It came out of the blue. All of a sudden, he was talking to another girl, and she made this whole thing in her head that they were together, and she just got jealous. It's so weird. Next thing you know, she actually likes him, but her feelings kind of teeter back and forth between Sebastian and Finian, but she's team Sebastian. It was so awkward because they barely flirted, and I could only recall 2 flirting scenes that they have. One, they were trying to save Finian's friend Jalek from the prison, and they just started flirting out of nowhere, and he was like touching her belly, and she was like, I'm like, girl, get a grip. Get a grip. Like, you're trying to save someone's life and here you are, like, I don't understand. Okay, next is when she was literally like laced. She was laced by a man. Again, don't trust men in this book. All these men are trash. But she was freaking laced, and she was, you know, all drugged up, and then that's when she started to, she was saying all these things to Finian and just letting her feelings out. Like, she was flirting with him, and she's saying her intrusive thoughts to him that she wants to do with him, or things that she thought about him. In the shower, they got a little bit steamy for a second. Again, keep in mind, this girly girl is still laced up. Like, she's not acting in her right mind for him to go along with that. It's very concerning, sir. It is very concerning. Like, yes, I understand that she's flirting with you, but keep in mind, sir, that she is all drugged up and she's not really thinking straight. Because all of this time when she was not laced and not drugged up, she never ever flirted with this man. Never. Never. She would only think about him and like him, but she never outright told him, you're hot, you're cute, I want to do this, I want to kiss you, blah 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 blah. Until she was drugged up. What is this? I don't know. Ew. So that should already be a sign. That is so concerning. And then he was trying to get her on the team, knowing that if he and her bonded, there's this whole bonding thing, I don't really want to get into it, but if he and her bonded, she would have died. And he was just going to let that happen. Oh my god, are you kidding me? At this point, they were kind of like friends already, and the fact that he was okay with that. No man in this world told her that, hey, if you bond with me, you're gonna die. No one told her that. Not her bestie of 2 years. Not this man that was actually kind of her friend already. It is insane. You know who told her that she would die? Mortius. But none of these men told her. All these men betrayed her, right? And Mortius was the only one who really was outright with everything and said, look, I want you to bond with me. And if you bond with me, you are going to die, but I will give you the potion of life so you could be a fairy. And Brie hates fairies. She never wants to be one, but she does want her sister. And she was like, hell no, I'm not doing that. Kills him. And she chooses to bond with Sebastian because she's in love, he's in love. They're like, okay, let's bond. The biggest betrayal happens of all time. She ends up passing out. Next thing you know, she's drinking the potion of life. Next thing you know, she's a fairy. She then realizes the reason for why that happened is because Sebastian, plot twist again, and another secret he's been keeping, he is half unseelie, half seelie. She ended up dying because he was unseelie, and he knew that. And he let her die, and he let her become a fae, even though she's been telling him and everyone else around her she does not want to be one. Not only did he lie about his identity again, about his powers, about what's gonna happen to her, he also took her powers. Man of the century. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. But she still has powers, apparently, because the magic is in her. It was talked about in this book. Magic is in you, magic is you. So whatever. Yeah, he's a liar. He is grimy. He's a liar. He's disgusting. So yeah, and this book ends up with her wanting to take revenge, and again, rightfully so. She really should, because everyone here in this book did her dirty. They made her go around in circles being stupid. That's the biggest takeaway of all in this book. Don't be fooled by these men, okay? Don't. But yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.